Yo! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching Medea Goes to Jail. Because after the crimes of these movies, I guess it just made sense to send Medea's ass to jail. This is a 2009 film that was written and directed, surprise, surprise, by Tyler Perry. And the plot is probably very straightforward if you just look at the title of the movie. Yes, Medea is going to jail. Not right from the beginning. Because at the beginning of the movie, you have a moment where Medea does something really stupid, gets in trouble with the court system like she always does in all of these films, right? But she gets a break. Or she gets off on a technicality. So the whole movie, you're like, wow, this title was a chip-off. It was a lie. It was false advertising. She's not going to go to jail until the last third, maybe the last act of the film, she does indeed go to jail. But not just that going on. There is a pseudo side plot, which is really the main plot when you see how much of time is given to this plot, where Derek Luke plays this guy, I think he's a lawyer or something, and he's engaged to be married to this woman, and so it seems like his life is going very well, right? He's high-paying job, he's about to get married. But then somebody from his past, this girl that he used to be friends with in school or whatever, he comes into contact with her. Come to find out that this girl is now a prostitute and doing drugs on the street. So he wants to help her by any means necessary. Even if it means fucking up his engagement. Now, this movie is all over the place. It is. I'm not going to say that I hated the film or that it was the worst Medea movie that I've seen so far, because I guess that's not entirely true, but I didn't enjoy it either. It felt like yet another one of his cliched type films. Yes, Medea, the reason why Medea is in the title of the film, the reason why the trailers, I didn't see the trailer, but I would assume that the trailer is probably all about Medea and only shows the Medea moments because that's what they sell you on. But there was even a couple of jokes in this film where it's almost like the other characters are pointing out that they kind of know that Medea is really a man. And I don't know if that was just a reaction to maybe what people who watch the movie say, because clearly Tyler Perry does not make a convincing looking woman. He doesn't. He's huge, and the voice isn't even all that convincing. It's all just something that you sort of just ignore and go along with. But there's a couple of jokes where there's a character who says, Medea's going to have to check her prostate. And somebody says, women don't have prostates. And he goes, trust me, Medea has a prostate. I'm like, wait, so you're admitting that she's a man? Or like, there's even some moments where when Medea gets angry, her voice gets deeper and she kind of sounds like a dude. So again, I don't really know where we're going with this whole Medea character, if we're going to have a film where there's a revelation or something. But I couldn't help but think, I've had this thought before, but more so in this movie, I couldn't help but think, why doesn't Tyler Perry, or why didn't he cast a black woman to be Medea? You know, why did he have to be Medea? It's so weird when you see a guy who is the writer, is the director, and he's not just the main star. He stars in 3 different parts. He's also playing Joe, right? The older grandfather type. And he's also playing Brian, who's the least interesting, most boring character that you could ever imagine, because that's kind of just Tyler Perry playing himself. And so I don't really get it. I don't get why he's so self-indulgent to the point where he has to put himself in all of these scenes, why he gets a kick out of seeing these scenes where Brian and Medea are side by side, and oh look, we can pull off this effect of having the same person next to each other. He just loves to show that he could do something that TV shows have been doing since like the 80s. It's not that impressive. But Alright, fine. So you have all this stuff. Medea doesn't listen to authority, doesn't like to follow the rules. She has a hot temper and she gets mad when somebody takes her parking spot. She gets mad if somebody says something to her, cuts her off. I know it's supposed to be funny. I do. I get it. But when I'm not laughing, when I'm just sitting there, just sort of watching it, waiting for the next thing to happen, it just, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood. Maybe this film just sucks. Maybe this character and the whole series in general is lame as fuck. Like I said, you don't get her in jail until the very, very end of the movie, which reminds me of when Jason Voorhees was supposed to go to New York, but he doesn't go to New York until the last 10 minutes of that film. It's like, no! As dumb as it is, give me a whole movie of Medea in jail. Not saying that would have been better, but maybe it would have been better than this, because like I said, the main plot, the main story of this film is we have Derek Luke, who plays Joshua. He comes into contact, like I said, with this childhood friend, Candace, and Candace is played by Keisha Knight Pullman. I think that's how you say her name. And I was looking at this girl and seeing her face and thinking, why does she look so familiar? I just thought, man, like, I must know her from somewhere. I looked her up. She was from The Cosby Show. Rudy! She played the little girl from The Cosby Show. So to see her, now grown up, playing a prostitute, playing a girl who she gets caught up with the wrong people. Of course, this guy kidnaps her on the street and has sex with her lifeless body and says that I own you now and all this stuff. So then she has to run away and sleep at Derek Luke's apartment. And I'm just like, I don't care about any of this. I don't care. I know that she was trying hard to really deliver this girl who's had some horrible luck. Something really bad happened to her in the past, and it set her down this bad path in life. And I get it, but it's the thinness of the script. It's the clichédness. It's the dialogue that's so thinly written that there was no layers to this characters. As soon as I saw Derek Luke and Candace, Keisha, reunite, I knew where this story was going to go. It went beat for beat exactly where I predicted it would go. And it's not necessarily saying that a story that's predictable equals the worst. But when it's not that interesting of a predictable story, then what in the goddamn hell are we doing? Derek Luke, here's the weird part of the movie. So Derek Luke is engaged. And he's thinking so much about this girl, this friend that he wants to help. And his fiance is upset about this, which makes sense. Your fiance sees you going out of your way, doing things above and beyond to help another female. Whatever your explanation is, she's going to be jealous or she's going to think something else is going on, right? But that's not really what his fiance's problem is. It's not so much that, oh, hey, you're going after this woman other than me. No, she's just upset because the other girl is a prostitute and she's from the hood. She's from the ghetto. And we're so above that. We're like up here. We're wealthy. We're doing well. Why are you lowering yourself to hang out with her? And I'm just like, I know Tyler Perry needs to paint this fiance chick as a horrible person. At least he feels like he needs to do that. I mean, imagine if there was some layers and if this fiance was a real person or a nice person or a halfway decent person. Because if she was this close-minded and this, bad thoughts going in her head, you're telling me this never came up with her and Derek Luke's character ever beforehand? Until now? Now you're just now finding out that this girl's a horrible person? Okay, fine. How convenient. It's just very forced. All of these scenes where she sees that he's still talking to her or he's still helping her. Oh, I'm going to go off. I can't do this anymore. And then the very next scene, they're back to talking. They're back to forgiving each other. She's back to forgiving him. And, oh, we're going to fight again. Oh, I can't talk to you now. And what's also weird about this is that Keisha's character ends up going to jail herself because obviously she's prostituting, right? So she ends up going to jail, and that's where she comes into contact with Medea. So those two stories converge because they're both in jail. And what's weird is that the Medea story plot is more of a comedy. It's more goofy, right? And then you have the Keisha stuff that's supposed to be more serious, more straightforward, more sad, or whatever the fuck. But then you just have it converge with the Medea stuff, and it doesn't work. The comedy plot and the serious plot doesn't really work when it comes together because it's just weird. It's awkward. Any scene that Medea's in, it's awkward. You have this weird moment where this muscled blonde chick is hitting on Keisha's character in jail, and Medea is defending her, and so you have an ongoing gag with that, where Medea ends up fighting the girl. What's funny is that the blonde buff girl that they have here, she's actually pretty attractive. Like, she has a pretty face. Yeah, she's big, but they try to make her look weird because they dub her voice with a man's voice. And I'm just like, is this supposed to be funny? Really? I don't know, guys. I know that there might be some people out there who do like not only this Medea movie, but the Medea movies in general. But I was shaking my head and just in disappointment having to watch this film the way that I did. Some of the other actors and some random cameos that you have. Viola Davis. Why in the blue hell is Viola Davis in this movie? She is better than this. She is so much better than this. She deserves so much better than this. Thankfully, she's moved on from doing a movie like this. She's done other things, and Jesus Christ. But she's here as a church woman who's helping prostitutes, I guess. Dr. Phil plays himself. There's a therapy scene with Dr. Phil and Medea. Because, that was funny. Vanessa Ferliti, who I want to mention this actress because she plays like the best friend of Keisha. She too was also a prostitute. I'm mentioning her because I remember this actress in that Quentin Tarantino movie, Death Proof. I remember her playing Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane's best friend in Spider-Man 2. And just, I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened to this actress. Maybe she is out there doing stuff, but I don't know. I recognized her instantly. And I just wanted to mention her. There you go. But very random. When they are in jail, Medea's cellmate is Sofia Vergara. And I actually found her to be a little amusing, Sofia Vergara. They don't give her a lot to do at all. She's only in maybe 2, maybe 3 scenes, but like in the background. And it looked like she was trying to do more. She was trying to show personality. You see her in the background and she's making faces and being goofy. And I kind of wanted to see more of her. But then I remember that I have seen more of Sofia Vergara in other films, like that Reese Witherspoon buddy cop film that she did, and I thought she was terrible there. So I thought, maybe I don't want more of Sofia Vergara. Maybe this little bit of a dose of her is as good as it will get. And there are these side characters that they introduce. I believe the woman is Medea's daughter and her husband. They're called the Browns. And not only were they annoying and unfunny in every scene that they were in, but I'm personally offended that their last names are Brown. Because that's my last name, goddammit. I know Brown is a popular name, a popular last name. But I hope these characters don't become a thing and don't keep showing up, because damn, I can't sit through this anymore. I can't. Please, God, don't make me. Anyways, guys, yeah, this was rough. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Medea Goes to Jail? If you ended up seeing it, if you didn't, I understand. I almost regret seeing it as well. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Time's changing quickly for me and you. The future's come, it's come for you. The moment upon your very eyes, the lives around you are hypnotized. I take my 1,144 and spread wide open, line up the floor. The things come fast from here on out. No more delay or benefit of doubt. The prophecies they talk to this time. I've been waiting patiently to bust.